Here is the first Russian letter in this group, a letter yo. 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 Well, you can anyway hear this sound in some English words. And what you need to know is that actually this letter have two sounds, two possible sounds. It can sound like a combination of two sounds, y and o, which makes yo. Yo, just like in an English word your, y, your. Or it can also sound like o with a softened consonant just before it. So actually it's like in a word turkey, turkey. It's without a sound y. This is something that you really need to understand, because some foreigners, when they just start learning Russian language, they believe that this letter yo is pronounced the same way everywhere. So you need to pronounce it like yo in every Russian word, which is not correct. Sometimes it doesn't have this sound y just before it. I explain all this and give lots of examples in my pronunciation course. Again, if you want, you can check it. It's not that I force you to check it, but this is something that will help you a lot to learn Russian language. And a good word association with this letter is ёлки-палки. Ёлки-палки. This is somewhat a curse word. Well, okay, it is not a curse word, it's like a euphemism of the curse words. So if you don't want to curse, but anyway you feel like you are really angry, you can use this word. And Russian people use it, well, I wouldn't say that they use it a lot, but probably especially some older generation, they can use it, like when something goes wrong, they can say ёлки-палки, ёлки-палки. There is also a very important information that you need to know, is that in printed materials, Russian people often replace this letter yo with the letter ye. But since Russian people know that it's not ye but yo, of course they will read it as yo. Though foreigners will not be able to get it straight away. So just for you to know, really in printed materials, we don't really write these dots. So it will be quite challenging for you to get used to this, but really I usually do it only for my students. When I write something, I really write it with yo, but with my friends I don't bother. And look at these words. So Russian English similar words. Let's try to guess. So the first word is, and you can actually read it as a whole because you already know all these letters. Try to do it first yourself. You can pause this video if you want, and I will read it for you. So this is партнер. P-A-R-T-N-U-R. Партнер. Партнер. So, do you know what it is in English? Партнер. A partner, of course. Next is a word актер. 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 Can you guess it? Actor. Actor. Next, here we have a word шофер. Шофер. Again, I don't pronounce O as it's written, I pronounce it as A, because it's not stressed. Шофер. Шофер. So, this is actually chauffeur. I'm not really sure how it should be pronounced like correctly, because mostly I use the word driver, but this is шофер. Шофер. So, in Russian, шофер. And just again, some important information for you. When you have a letter yo in a word, it is almost always stressed. I say almost because there are some exceptions, but there are not a lot of these exceptions. So most of all, in the majority of cases, you will have this letter yo stressed. And here we have this crazy Russian letter zh. Don't be afraid. So yeah, it looks really weird. It looks really intimidating. I believe. So this is the letter J. J. And well, if you wonder how to pronounce it, it should be pronounced as J, J. Sometimes it can also be pronounced as Sh, Sh. So J or Sh. And it sounds almost the same, like a letter S in a word pleasure. Pleasure, J, J. Just try to fix this feeling, like to fix this sound. J, J. I know that this letter looks really strange and it's quite difficult to actually write it. Sometimes I don't really write it this way. Well, there are different modifications of how people can write it. And in cursive, this is very important as well, it is not written the same way. By the way, yes, in cursive, in Russian cursive, probably it will be a new information for you. In Russian cursive, we don't write letters the same way as they are written in their printed versions. They may differ, sometimes they differ a lot. If you want to learn more, I also have a course on Russian cursive. So again, I'm not forcing you to get it, but it's a very good course. You can find a link in the description. And a word association that we have with this letter is Zhiguli. Zhiguli. You can see this car, and it also looks intimidating, right? So actually it's an old Russian car. Well, I cannot say that it's really old because it was manufactured until 2014, and during all this time people were really how to say, not excited, but anyway, they loved this type of a car. So Russian people, Russian men are really nostalgic about this car, even though it's not really that good. Let's have some practice with Russian English similar words. So here again, you can see, you can try to read some of these words. Well, probably you will not be able to read everything because we haven't covered all these letters. So the first word is journalist. 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 Can you guess what it is in English? Journalist. A journalist. Journalist. Next is a word jazz. 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 Can you guess what it is in English? Jazz. 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 Next is a word garage. Garage. And it's actually a good example here to show you that sometimes this letter J will be pronounced like sh. So as you can hear, I say garage. Garage. I don't say garage. Garage. No, I don't say like this. I say garage. Garage. So it's pronounced as sh. Sh. Again, I explain all these things in my course for pronunciation. It's not that difficult. There are actual rules for all these tendencies in Russian pronunciation. It's not like in English, really. In Russian, everything can be explained. So, garage, garage, do you know what it is in English? Well, I'm sure that you know. Garage, garage. And the last word, it's not Russian, so you will be able to get it straight away. It is jeansy. Jeansy, jeansy. So, what is it? Jeans, jeans, jeansy, jeansy. So look at this word and try to read it. So here we have two letters which are Russian and the rest are in English. Can you guess what it's written here? I believe that it's really easy to guess it, to read it. So this is an English word, Gillette. Gillette. Well, if I pronounce it correctly, because in Russian we pronounce it as Gillette. 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 Sounds different. Yeah. Gillette. Gillette. Here is the next letter. So this letter looks like a Russian letter E, but we have this little hat just above. So this is a letter which is called I краткое. Yes, this is how it's called. I краткое. If we translate it, it will be like a short E. Short E. I краткое. So its sound is Y. Y. Just like an English word yes. Y. So just try to fix this sound yes. 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 I also wrote that you need to be really careful with this letter because sometimes people pronounce it where it should and where it shouldn't be. I actually talk about this in one of my YouTube videos. If you want, you can watch it as well because I explain some basics of Russian pronunciation and I also explain this in my pronunciation course. And the word association with this letter is yod. Yod. There are not so many words with the letter y in the beginning of words, so it was a little bit difficult to find something that can show the culture of Russian people and start with this letter y. That is why I chose this, because I know that in foreign countries, so in other countries than post-Soviet countries, you don't use it nowadays. Well, I'm sure that people who work in medicine, that they know what it is, but you don't really use it nowadays. Even though in Russian people, they use it a lot. Let's have a look at some Russian English similar words. So the first one, it's not Russian, it's English, so that is why it will be easy for you to guess it. I want you to first look at it yourself and try to read it. So you can read it because all these letters we have already covered before. So can you read what's written here? Mainstream. Mainstream. Here this letter Y is sounds like e because it's a borrowed word and it happens this way with almost all borrowed words where you have a letter Y. Mainstream. Mainstream. So, well, I guess that I don't even know to show you because you already know what it is. Mainstream. Next we have a word muzей. Muzей. A museum. Muzей. Muzей. Next we have a word which is also borrowed. Fake. Fake. Like fake news. So you already know what it is. Fake. Fake. We also use this word, and especially young people, they know what it is. If you ask an older generation, something like, do you know what fake is? Probably they will tell you no. Next we have a word yogurt. Yogurt. So this word starts with this letter y. Yogurt. Yogurt, and of course you know what it is. And the last word is yoga. 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 The same situations, you know what it is. So again, you can have a look at all these words, you can try to read them yourself, and this will help you again to start reading in Russian easily. Look at this word and try to guess what's written here. So here you can see that there are several Russian letters that we have already covered, so it shouldn't be really difficult for you. Just have a look. So we start with Russian letters. The first 3 letters are Russian. And then we also have some Russian letters in the end, but actually in the middle we have English letters. Can you guess what's written there? What do we have here? I'm sure you can guess it. So it is Microsoft. Microsoft. So yeah, we will read it in Russian, Microsoft. Microsoft with a Russian accent. So you can see we start with these letters M-A-Y. My. My. Then we have in English Microsoft. F-T. Microsoft. Here we have another good Russian letter. Letter C. C. So its official name is C, but it sounds like ts. 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 This letter is similar to a TS sound in words like sits, sits, ts, 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 and for example, it's. So we have this sound ts, ts. Not completely the same, but anyway, you can practice ts, ts, ts. It's like a very quick combination of these 2 letters, ts, ц, ц, ц. A word association that I want to give you is a name of a very famous rock star, Tsoi. Tsoi. So this is his surname. Tsoi. Viktor Tsoi. Ts, ts, Tsoi. Now let's have some practice with Russian English similar words. So again, you can try to read these words first yourself, and then I will read it for you as well, of course. And the first word is цивилизация. 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 Can you guess what it is? Again, pay attention to the ending of this word. Цивилизация. Civilization. Civilization. Цивилизация. Next is a word функция. 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 And in English, it's a function. Function. Next is a word. So again, you can read it first yourself. Процесс. Процесс. And in English, it is a process. Процесс. Процесс. Next is a word. Цирк. 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 You can notice here that E is pronounced as, not E really as E, it's pronounced as U. We haven't covered this letter yet, but it sounds really hard. So, цирк. 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 And in English, it is circus. Цирк. Цирк. Next is a word центр. Центр. And in English, a center. Центр. Центр. Next word, and it's not Russian, so you can guess it easily. So this is a word pizza. Pizza. And in English, pizza. 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 Well, I have already gave you a clue for this word, so you can read it easily. Just look at it. We have Russian letters in the first word and also in the second word. We have already covered these letters. Can you guess what's written here? So it's Pizza Hut, of course. So you have this two double C, pizza, pizza, and then you have this letter H, H. So H, hut, hut, Pizza Hut. The next letter is a letter Ch, Ch, and it's pronounced like Ch, Ch. Just like a combination of two letters C and H in a word chair. Ch, ch, ch. Chair. Ch. A wonderful word association that I can give you with this letter is чебурашка. Чебурашка. You can see it just here. So this is a cartoon character which is very famous. I believe that it's also famous around the world, and everyone loves it because it is so cute. It's like an animal, but nobody knows what it is exactly. If you want, well, when you will have a sufficient level of Russian language, you will be able to watch cartoons with this wonderful cheburashka. And now let's have some practice with Russian English similar words. So here again, try to read them first yourself. You can pause the video and I will read them now for you. So the first word is почта. Почта, почта. And in English it is, well, it's not really the same in English. It doesn't sound completely the same, but anyway, you can see some similarities. Почта, post, post. Почта, post. Next is the word чемпион. Чемпион. This one is more easy to guess. So, чемпион, чемпион, and in English, a champion. Champion. Next is the word chai. Chai. So chai is a tea, and we call it as chai because it was produced in China. Chai, China. It's quite easy to remember. And next is the word chipsy. Chipsy, it's not a Russian word, so it will be easy for you to guess. Chipsy, chips. So chipsy, chipsy. And look at this word now. So here we have only one letter which is Russian and the rest is in English. So it will be really easy for you to understand what's written here. And it's a word Cheetahs. Cheetahs. Well, if I pronounce it correctly, this is actually the way we pronounce it in Russian. Cheetahs. Cheetahs. Next letter is sh. 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 It shouldn't be really difficult for you to pronounce it, even though some nationalities can find it difficult. Well, it is like a combination of two letters S and H in a word shout. 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 A good association with this letter is a name Stirlitz. Stirlitz. Well, it's not an actual person, but you can actually see that it's a character of a movie, 17 мгновений весны. It's a war movie and he was a spy. So nowadays we can actually say to a person who doesn't want to speak, who doesn't want to say something, like he is keeping some secrets, we can say, "Ну ты и Штирлиц." You are such a Stirlitz. So that is why it can be a good word as well to know. And this is like a Russian James Bond. Let's have some practice with Russian English similar words. And the first word is шоколад. Шоколад. Can you guess what it is in English? I believe that it's not really that difficult to guess. It's chocolate. Шоколад. Шоколад. Sh. Next is the word shampoo. Shampoo. Again, it sounds really almost the same as in English. Shampoo. 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 Next is the word школа. Школа. Well, here it doesn't really sound the same, but anyway, we have some similarities. Школа. Школа. And in English, school. Школа. School. Next is the word show. Show. I believe that we have already seen this word before. Show. 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 And the last word, which is not Russian, but it's good for you to know it as well. You can now read it and probably you have already understood what it is. So, shopping. Shopping. Well, it's obvious. Shopping. Shopping. Now try to read what's written here. Here there is only the first letter, which is Russian. Can you see what it is? Can you read what it is? This is a brand. So this is Chanel. Chanel. Sh. We read it as Chanel. Chanel. Here comes a brother of the previous letter sha. Sha with a sound sh. And here we have a letter sha. Sha with a sound sh. Sh. It may sound really strange for you because probably you don't really hear the difference. So the previous sh and this one sh. 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 Well, Russian people definitely can hear the difference. So it actually sounds like a combination of letters S and H in a word shit. Shit. Sh. It's quite soft. So it's a softened letter sh. Sh. So you make it really soft. Sh. And a good word association with this letter is щелкунчик. Щелкунчик. And not cracker. Let's now look. Well, I don't have many words, many cognates, many words that are similar in English and in Russian with this particular letter. So we have only one, but can really sound almost the same. That they are not really the same, but anyway, you can hear the similarity. So you can read it first yourself, and so it sounds like shika. Shika, shika. Can you guess what it is in English? So, shika, and in English it is a cheek, shika, shika. Next is a letter U, 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 and it can have two sounds. So actually just like a letter U. As you remember when I told you that it can have two sounds depending on the situation and on its position. The same is for the letter Y, and the same is for the letter Ya, that we will cover a little bit later. And again, I talk about this in one of my YouTube videos. If you want, you can watch it because I cannot explain all the details here. So this letter U can have two sounds. The first sound will be a combination of two sounds with a sound Y. Y and U. 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 And the second one will be a sound U, but with a softened consonant just before it. Almost like in a word duke. Duke. Well, duke, not really the same, but anyway, it can give you an overall idea, but I really recommend you to watch my video where I explain it in details. And the word association with this letter, here we have a name of a Russian cosmonaut. This is Yuri Gagarin. Yuri Gagarin. If you ask someone in Russia, everybody knows this name. So Yuri Gagarin. And he was actually the author of these words that we can use nowadays a lot, and probably even foreigners actually like it a lot. Поехали. Поехали. Let's have some practice with Russian English similar words. And the first word with this letter is сюрприз. Сюрприз. In this word, actually, we have this sound U, but it is softened with the consonant that stands just before it. So that is why we have this sound сю. Surprise. Surprise. So can you guess what it is in English? Surprise. 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 Next is the word musical. 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 Can you guess what it means in English? A musical. A musical. 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 Here again we have this sound U with a softened M. Musical. And the last one, which is not a Russian word, is steward. 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 I believe that it's really easy to get this word, of course. And so here we have again this sound U with a softened consonant. Steward. Steward. Here is the letter Ya. Ya. It's a vowel again, and it's the last letter of Russian alphabet. This letter, again, so here it's very important to know, it's not a sound, it's a letter. And this letter can have two sounds, just like a previous letter U. In this case, Ya can have two sounds. So the first one, it's a combination of two sounds with the first sound Y, and the second A. Ya. Ya. Ya, just like in a word yard. Yard. And the second is A with a softened consonant. So, for example, like in the name Katya. Katya. You will not say Katya. No, you will say Katya, because we will need to pronounce a sound A with a softened consonant. Katya, Katya. And a word association with this letter is a phrase "Я люблю вас." "Я люблю вас", there is actually a joke that this phrase sounds almost the same like yellow blue bus. Yellow blue bus. Even though, no, it doesn't really sound the same. And of course, it's not a good way actually to say this to someone because "Я люблю вас", it's an official way, so like you will not tell it to someone you already know well, like to your girlfriend, because it will be really weird if you say this to someone you don't know, like "Я люблю вас". Well, you will definitely freak a person out. Let's have a look at some Russian English similar words, and the first one is "я". "Я". Well, if you have just started to learn Russian language, you probably don't know Russian pronouns, because this is a Russian pronoun as well. This is a Russian pronoun which is I. "Я", I. Well, it's not really the same, but anyway, it seems like to have a similarity. Next is the word "вакансия". "Вакансия", "вакансия". So here we have this "я" in the end, and it's pronounced like a combination of two sounds, "y" and "a", because it comes after a vowel. "Вакансия", "вакансия". Can you guess what it is in English? Vacancy. I believe that we already had this word actually. Next, компания. Компания. And again, here we have a combination of two sounds. Компания. Я. Я. Компания. So this is a company. Компания. Next is the word презентация. Презентация. Again, we have this "я" in the end after a vowel, and it should be pronounced with a sound "y". Презентация, "y", "я", "я". So what is it? So again, look at the ending of this word, "ция". So it is presentation. Презентация, presentation. And the last word is реакция. Реакция. Try to guess. Реакция. Reaction. Реакция. Again, so in all these words, we have this letter "я" in the position where we had to pronounce it with two sounds and with a sound "y". So actually, the key sound in this case is a sound "y". But don't forget that you don't need to pronounce it everywhere. Yes, it's a letter "я", but it's not pronounced as "я" everywhere. Look at this word. Do you know what it is? Well, it's really easy to guess. I actually could make it all in Russian because you already know all these letters, but this is mostly to practice this first letter. So this is Yahoo, of course. Yahoo. Yahoo. Well, in Russian we can say Yahoo, Yahoo. It sounds a little bit funny in Russian language actually. Yahoo. Yahoo. Yeah. Here we have probably the strangest Russian letter, which is a letter U. 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 Well, it seems like I pronounce it with some kind of pain, but no, well, in words, it is really easy for us to pronounce it in words, but when actually you try to pronounce it separately, I believe that it's even more difficult. U. U. And yeah, so this is like, well, I cannot really compare it with English language because you don't have it in English. Some people may tell you that it sounds almost the same as in the word sit, sit. Well, it's almost the same, if we can say so, because like it requires the same position in order to produce this sound, sit, sit, but it's not the same. I cannot stop talking about my course on pronunciation, sorry, but I really believe that everyone will be able to profit from this course because it's very well done. I put lots of effort in this course and I'm sure that you will like it. But just as a quick tip that is mostly used by many learners in order to learn how to pronounce this letter U, well, mostly people try to learn it this way. You just need to take a pen or a pencil. Again, you will need to put it in your mouth. The way that you will be able to pronounce a letter E, but you will produce a letter U. So a sound U. So what you need to do is to actually put a pen or a pencil like this horizontally, and you will need to put it just this way between your teeth, and your tongue should be below. So your tongue should be kept below your pen or pencil as you want. So you put it just this way. And then you need to pronounce a sound E. So normally you know how to pronounce a sound E, and this way when you have this pen or pencil in your mouth, you will be able to produce a sound U. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And the most important thing here, of course, you will not be able to speak with your pen or pencil in your mouth like this when you will speak to Russian people. So the most important thing here is to catch and to fix this sound, to understand how you need to produce it, where exactly it comes from, and then normally it should help you. It was difficult to find a word association with this letter because we don't have any words that start with this letter. Well, there are actually some names of villages in Russia that can start with this letter U, but there are not so many, and anyway, it was not a good idea to give you this, so I decided to give you this association with a movie. This is a Soviet movie that is called Operatsiya U, Operation U. So that is why, yeah, you need to know how to pronounce U in order to tell somebody that you watch this movie, for example, if in the future you will watch it, and I really recommend you to watch it because it's so good. Unfortunately, there are not so many Russian English cognates with this letter, and this one, well, it's not really the same, but anyway, I believe that they have some similarities in pronunciation. So this is the word быть. Быть. Быть или не быть? Вот в чем вопрос. You didn't understand what I said, but actually I said to be or not to be. That is a question. So as you understand, быть is to be in English. So this is just an equivalent to an English to be. Быть, to be. But if you're just a beginner, you don't know for the moment that this verb быть, we don't use it in present. So it's not like in English when we say I am, you are, he is. In Russian, we don't use this connection, like a verb connection, because it's only used in the past and in the future, but not in the present. So why is it actually important to pronounce this letter U as it should be and not pronounce it as E? Because there are many foreigners who actually cannot pronounce U and they pronounce it as E. But it's very important to know how to pronounce it because there are some words, some Russian words, that actually look the same and they almost sound the same, just for one difference. There is a letter U or a letter E, just like here, быть or бить. Быть, to be, and beat, to beat. So быть, бить, быть, beat. Can you hear the difference? So actually the difference is important here. And this letter U is also important because it is used to form plural. So plurals of nouns, plural forms of nouns. Like for example, we have a word coat, coat, and to make it plural, we will say коты, коты. If you say коти, it will be a completely different word. So that is why you need to know how to pronounce it correctly. Коты, коты. And here we have a Russian hard sign, твердый знак. So it's not even a letter, it's a sign, and it doesn't have any sound at all. So many foreigners wonder why we actually use it in Russian, because well, it doesn't have a sound. Why to bother? But it actually have an influence in Russian words. So when you pronounce it with and without a Russian hard sign, it will make a difference. And it's really used in some important Russian words. So if you just want to ignore some Russian words with a hard sign because you don't know how to pronounce it in words, then you will not be able to use some words like объятия, hugs, объятия, объятия. So if you read it without this hard sign, it will be объятия. But we need to read it as объятия. There is a common explanation of how to pronounce this hard sign in words, which is to make a slight pause between letters, which I don't like because there is actually a very good trick to show you how to pronounce Russian words with a hard sign. You can watch my video on this topic because, well, it will help you a lot and you will not have a nightmare and a headache of trying to understand how to pronounce these Russian words with a hard sign. Let's have a look at some Russian English similar words with this hard sign. So the first one is объект. 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 And in English it is an object. Объект. Next is the word субъект. Субъект. In English, subject. 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 Объект. Subject. So I really recommend you to watch my video on this topic because I explain it in all details. If I start explaining it now, it will take too much time, so it's better if you go there and I have a dedicated video on this topic. You will understand how easy it is. And here comes a soft sign. Мягкий знак. Мягкий знак. Soft sign. So we had a hard sign and here we have a soft sign. And this one, even though it's written that it makes a previous letter sound softer, I don't really like this explanation because there is a much easier explanation than to tell that it makes a previous letter sound softer, because sometimes it's not really obvious for some foreigners. So again, I have a dedicated video on this topic and it's better to watch it separately from this, because otherwise it will take too much time. And just to give you some idea of how to pronounce it in words, look at this word. So this is a word association with this sign, and this is семья. 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 And if you pronounce it without a soft sign, it will be семя. Семя. Семья. Семя. Or there is another word, семь. Семь. If you don't pronounce a soft sign, it will be семь. Семь, семь. Well, even though there is not such a big difference for Russian people, it is a big difference. And you will need to learn how to pronounce words with this soft sign. And just a little clue, it actually has a sound. Well, it's better to explain it this way actually. So you can watch a video on this topic and you will see how easy it is. So let's just have a look at these words, at these Russian English cognates. And the first one is interview. Interview. It's easy. Interview. And in English, it's interview. 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 And the last word is скульптура. 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 And in English, it is a sculpture. I believe that we have already seen this word before. Sculptura. And just to show you that this soft sign is really important, it's really important to pronounce words with a soft sign. Look at this word that you can see just down there. So, быть and быть. Быть, быть. These are completely different words. Быть and быть. Or брат and брать. Брат, брать. Брат, brother, брать, to take. Брат, брать. So you can see only this soft sign can change the meaning of a word. So that is why, and believe me, it's not really that difficult to understand how to pronounce it. There is a very good trick. So this is the end of the lesson 4. So we have already covered all Russian letters. Congratulations! And now we will be able to have some fun. So we will have some fun with the words that contain Russian letters. The same as we did before, but this time it will be much more difficult. So you can take a pause, you can take a break, and then you can come back to have some more practice. So here is the first word, and as you can see, there are only Russian letters. But this is an English word, and you definitely know what it is. So have a look, take your time, you can pause, and then I will show you the right answer. So try to read it. Do you know what it is in English? It is Facebook. Facebook. Well, in Russian, we will read it as Facebook. Facebook, with a stress in the end. Facebook. Let's go on. This word. Can you read, can you guess what it is? Again, it's an English word. It's a brand. So, take your time. You can pause. This is Sprite. In Russian, we will read it as Sprite. Sprite. Next, look at this word. So, can you guess what it is in English? Kinder. Kinder. In Russian, we will read it as Kinder. Kinder. Next. Well, this one, I believe that this one is really easy. Can you guess what it is? Can you read actually? Yeah, because you shouldn't guess. You should really read. Coca-Cola. So we read it as Coca-Cola. 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 Next. Look at this word and try to read it. So this is Colgate. Colgate. We read it as Colgate. Colgate. So if you go to Russia and you want to buy Colgate, well, you should read it as Colgate. Colgate. Next. Can you read what's written here? Nescafe. Nescafe. Next. This. Can you read what's written here? Take your time. This is Snickers. Snickers. Next. Do you know what it is? Subway. Subway. Well, in Russian we will mostly read it as Subway. Subway. What about this one? Danone. Danone. So this is the end of my lessons on Russian alphabet, but before leaving you, I want also to give you some really basic Russian phrases, so again you will be able to read them yourself. The most important is actually not to rely on Latin transcription, because it's not a transcription, it's a transliteration. That is why from the beginning, if you learn Russian letters correctly, you will be able to read these words without any problems. Though there is one problem, it's a Russian pronunciation, and by this I mean that there are certain rules when some Russian letters are not pronounced the same way as they are written. That is why I created my pronunciation course that can really help you sound like a Russian. So if you want, you can get it. The description is below. So let's read and learn these words. The first word. Again, you can pause this video to read it and I will tell you how to pronounce it. So the first word is привет. Привет. And again, it's a very important point here is that you don't pronounce it as привет, because there are many foreigners who think that this letter Y should be pronounced with a sound Y everywhere. And as I told you, in this case, there are actually two ways to pronounce this letter, and in this case, it will be pronounced like E with a softened consonant. But if you want to learn more on this topic, you can watch my YouTube video. So, привет, привет, it's hi, привет. So just to let you know, I also have a video on different ways to say hello. So I will not explain you here why привет, for example, you cannot use it with all people, with all groups of people. And it will be even impolite if you say it to some people that you don't know. So just to know that привет should be used with some of your friends and some people that you know very well. So привет. Привет. Next phrase that you can learn is как дела? Как дела? How are you? Как дела? This letter E is pronounced as E because it's not stressed. Как дела? Как дела? Next, and it can be used as a reply to a previous question, хорошо. We have already seen this word. Хорошо. Хорошо. And to thank a person, you can say спасибо. 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 By the way, I have videos on different ways to ask how are you in Russian and also on some polite phrases and words. So you can also find these videos on my YouTube channel. So next we have a word пожалуйста. Пожалуйста. So this word can have different meanings, and again you can learn more in my video on polite phrases. And the last one is до свидания. До свидания. So when you need to say goodbye to a person, you will say до свидания. Notice that we pronounce it all together, and this letter O is pronounced as A because it's not stressed. До свидания. And this is actually a word that I will use to say you goodbye at this moment, because this is the end of my lessons on Russian alphabet. So I can tell you до свидания. До свидания, goodbye. I will see you in my next videos. And as I told you, you can check all my videos for beginners, because I explain all basic phrases and words in a fun way. See you next time. Пока-пока.